Hey, Nathan. Have you had sex?
Come again?
Wow. Wow.
Alrighty, Thomas, how's it going?
Pretty good, Nate. How are you doing?
Can't complain too much. I just finished watching a movie with you titled The Big Wedding.
Oh, really? How was it?
Uh,
No, it was actually a good movie. It was fun.
yeah,
Very appropriate since I got about a year to prepare for mine. And now I know what to expect, right?
yeah, well, the next movie you have to see is Four Weddings and a Funeral,
Oh, nice.
which will be a little bit closer to yours, but
Oh, thank you. I
particularly
always enjoy
the
your compliments.
yeah, particularly the funeral part of that title.
No, don't say that.
Now think about it. You're asking for a roast.
Yeah, just don't bury me alive, okay?
Too late for that. Yeah, let's talk for a minute about that for a second while I'm thinking of it. The other day we went out. This is last week. To where was it? Ted's Montana Grill.
Your favorite restaurant?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was freaking delicious. I had food poisoning. Uh,
What flavor?
Beef.
Yeah.
Beef with bacon.
Yeah, I told you you should have got the bison.
Yeah, well, I didn't expect them to cook on a dirty grill that then would be cooking its own juices on top of the juices of about a half a dozen other things that were cooked there without getting patted down before being put on a bun and having cheese melted on it and then
Yeah.
served on a plate with greasy French fries.
No, now that I think about it, since their policy is like fresh food and they don't have freezers and fridges or whatever,
Yeah.
it makes sense, doesn't it? That it could end up that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but I mean, even so, it's sloppy, and I would love to see John Taffer go in there and fix that bar. Yeah, the Jack and Coke wasn't a very well done mix either. They gave me mostly flat.
Soda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the matter? Can't they get a good soda these days?
Yeah, I don't know.
So anyway, aside from the bitch fest about the food, yeah, I was gonna say that there was a couple of things that came out of it that were kind of funny. One, we went to play pool beforehand,
Right.
and one of the things that happened was your brother said to me, you may recall this, I don't know, but we'll see. He said to me, oh yeah, you should watch out for her cousin. When she gets angry, she gets triple digits bowling. And I said, triple digits? He goes, yeah, 100, 120, 150, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, I thought you meant she got three guys' phone numbers. Anyway, that was kind of easy, yeah.
Did he get it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I had to explain to him the digits part, then it kicked in.
That makes sense.
Yeah. No, it was a goodie. And then there was another one where we were at the dinner table after we had the, well, it's technically two at this point, at the dinner table after we ordered our desserts. When the desserts came, it struck me, you're more of a woman than your fiance is.
Why do you say that?
Well, I say that because you were saying that, oh my god, I'm going to get fat if I eat the rest of this dessert.
Just rubbing off on me, huh?
Yeah, so, I've never heard your fiance say that about dessert, but you, I've heard say it multiple times. So,
That's really funny.
yeah, so there's that. And then as part of that, and this is the other thing I was led into, is everybody was having their fest about getting fat from dessert, with the exception of me. Your brother said to me, "Hey, have you seen the scale when I stepped on it recently?" I said, "Yeah, it says one at a time."
That is very smooth.
Yeah, that joke, I don't know why it came to me that easily, but it did. And I have to say, for the sake of the audience, that I got that from either um, Martin Lewis or Abbott and Costello. But that's how the jokes are. It goes
Oh,
back to the 40s at least.
I heard it recycled in Garfield comics, and that's what came to my mind when you said that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it's one of the old wheezes, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's classic, so you can always.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Caught him off guard.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what the idea of humor is you get caught off guard and you get mildly offended, but then you laugh because it's like, well, what else can I do? Uh, so anyway, there was that stuff. What else was going on that I wanted to say in terms of that?
Outing?
Yeah. Oh, I tried to set up with you over the course of the whole summer and weren't able to wrangle her into it. Getting your cousin on these podcasts.
Right.
So, spoilers for anybody that saw a posting that was on the Nate Taves podcast group page on Facebook that said, with a surprise uh, coming up. That surprise isn't coming because I couldn't get her to be on the podcast. Now, I'm hoping I can send a message through you to her because I think it's going to sound weird if I try to write it into a coherent message.
Yeah.
I basically have met maybe 5 people in my lifetime that I consider smarter than myself. Jenny is one of them.
Why do you say that?
Well, I say that because she knows a lot about various things, and I'm not really sure how to best explain it beyond that.
Interesting.
But anyway, that's why I'd wanted her on the podcast.
Oh. Well, that's a nice compliment.
I respect her knowledge of music and dance and stuff, and that's part of what I was thinking. It could be fun to talk to her about on there.
Right.
And as I say, I also think that she's smarter than I am. So, if you can find space in that very busy head of yours to store that and get that message to her, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Will do.
Right on. Now, just so nobody gets pissed off and goes, "What about me?" on any comments on this thing. Yes, I consider most of the people I know to be intelligent to one degree or another. But as I say, very seldom do I say that somebody's smarter than I am. So, anyway, there's that. In regards to why do we not have females on this podcast, it's not for a lack of trying. I've been trying to get 3 women on this podcast for a while. One of them you just heard about that was not able to do it, didn't want to do it, or whatever. Another one it currently lives in Vegas and is moving back to the East Coast. in the next few days. I will try to get her on a podcast in the near future, but the shot of actually getting her to stop screwing around, every pun intended, and sit down and record a podcast is about 1,000,000 to 1. So, anybody that wants to hear her on the podcast, you may be holding your breath for a while. The the other one, I don't know why I'm about ready to admit this, but I did a 15-minute conversation with her about dog farts one time, and I said, "Yeah, you say you'd be good at podcasting."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Well, what would we be talking about?" I said, "Well, we could start with dog farts and say where it leads."
Yeah.
Anyway,
Might be a smelly conversation.
yeah, it would stink. Yeah, but so yeah,
15 minutes in dog farts?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Because I start comparing it to your farts or
Nice.
Nick Berlusconi or
Oh, yeah, the ultimate. I look up to him.
yeah, she'll paint with those. So
Well,
anyway,
people need to paint their house sometime, right?
yeah, paint's got to come off sometime too.
Right.
Good Lord. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you think women would want to talk on a podcast, right?
well, here's the thing: is that the stereotype of women, and I don't know where this comes from, honestly, is that women talk a lot on the phone. So you would think that if there was any truth to that, that they would be okay with talking on podcasts. Now, I've heard women who are in professional broadcasting do podcasts or radio shows like Howard Stern or Rush Limbaugh or
Right.
whatever, just to do two opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, there's that stuff, and they usually come off well, and the people that do it are intelligent, i.e., Megyn Kelly, so forth and so on.
Yeah.
The only caveat I will add to that is I do not think highly of Farrah Abraham.
Hmm.
You know who that is?
No.
Backdoor Teen Mom.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Her IQ strikes me somewhere just above north of a bedroom slipper.
Wow.
She is still trying to say, and she said on the Howard Stern show in the interview that I saw with her, that the porn tape that she did was leaked by James Dean. However, TMZ reported and had paperwork to back it up that she had shopped the tape around to Vivid Entertainment and she got a paycheck for it. So,
wow.
I'm a little bit
quite a different
surprised that
story.
she'd be outraged the way that she is that it's a leaked tape, even though there's documents saying otherwise. So,
Leaked by her.
yeah, to me that makes about as much sense as what the insurance company is doing with my family right now as far as health care, but I will not talk about that on here.
Yeah. Don't want to be audited, right?
No, I don't want more messages saying the FBI has just read your email.
Right.
Like what happened to me with reporting to my dad that they had allegedly had a Boston bombing suspect in custody when that first false report came out, thanks to Mayor Menino.
Yeah.
By the way, Mayor, have a nice retirement, huh? Anyway. You old
Jeez.
dingbat. Anyway.
There's a lot of them flying around out there.
Yeah. I'd say his career amounts to back guano, but what do I know?
You don't want to take that makeup and put it on your face.
That's a funny part. Some people do. Yeah, I can't figure out. But there's something that I read the other day, and it was about the facial treatments that they give in California.
Yeah.
Some of them are with donkey sperm.
No way.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them are donkey sperm. You put it on your face, and it helps reduce the aging lines around your eyes and mouth and stuff.
What else does it do, though?
Gets donkeys pregnant.
No, I mean to your face, though, right? I mean,
Well, it depends on if you're a shithead or what.
exactly.
Uh, so,
Wow. If that isn't an ass wipe, I don't know what is.
I know an asswipe. It has feathers and weighs 5 ounces. My dad's bird. I love that bird like a hole in the head.
It is up the.
Well, no, his name is Wazoo. We joke that his name is up the Wazoo.
Right.
And the only words he knows how to say are asshole and asswipe, which we did not teach him. He came that way from the pet store that we rescued him from because the pet store was going out of business and we won him in a raffle.
Right.
My dad has been happy with him almost ever since, with the exception of when he gets nippy and decides to bite my dad, which isn't nearly as much as he decides to bite me or my mom.
Wow. He tried to have a go at me too when I watched him.
Yeah, well, he's very territorial.
Yeah.
And he's not a very nice bird. He's pretty, color-wise, but he's a royal shit. Which is about all I was good for, by the way. We do have a very nice dog, though.
Yes.
Her name's Emma. She's just over a year old now. And she's a character.
Oh.
You know how dogs like to go for walks and stuff?
Sure.
Or enjoy going out to go to the bathroom sometimes?
Yeah.
Well, what will happen is we'll put the leash on her to take her out to go to the bathroom, and she'll go out, she'll pee. Mostly we have to try to make sure that she doesn't go anywhere near the wasps that have taken over our backyard.
Yeah.
I'll get to those in a minute. And so we will take her out, and after she does her business, she will grab hold of her leash and run herself back to the house.
Her own leash.
Yeah.
Wow. Now that's impressive.
Yeah.
Usually my dog would try to unhook his own leash and
Yeah,
run the opposite way.
Yeah, well, your dog also like to hump humans.
Just a select few.
Yeah, leave me out of this.
But back to Emma.
Yeah, well, yeah, let's do a second on your dog. Here's what happened is we used to hang out in the winter, and Samson, your white dog,
German Shepherd.
yeah, would be bounding around in the snow, and if you did certain things, it would get him excited in one way or another, and he'd try to have his way with somebody.
Right.
Well, at one particular instance, you did something with your hands, I forgot what it was, that gave him an idea.
I had some red clay, remember?
That's a different story, but yes, I remember that, and it had the same result as this one. He got an idea in his head about what he wanted to do, and he took a flying leap at me. I was standing at a split in the tree in your driveway.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
And I went flying through the split in the tree, landed on my back. The dog jumped all over my head. Male genitalia and all, bouncing in my face. and stuff as he did a dry hump, I guess you would call it.
Well,
And
he
so
was
when I
needed.
got up, I looked at you and your neighbor who was over at the time, and it said, "Well, now you can call me dickhead."
I can't believe he had a sense of humor after all that. You must have been pretty mad, though, right?
Oh, I was pissed,
Yeah.
but
No pun intended.
yeah, well, every pun intended, that's right. But no, that's the
Uh,
thing is, you'll find I have a very dry, sarcastic sense of humor
yeah.
that I had for a long time, and I used to get told that it was the devil's tool. Um,
By who?
yeah, well, my teachers
Huh.
and my parents for a while, but then after a while they learned that, I was sarcastic and that was the way things were going to be.
Huh.
And originally I was sarcastic in the way of like James Cagney might have been sarcastic in Angels with Dirty Faces or something.
Mm-hmm.
But after I discovered Don Rickles, it started going in that direction. For anybody who's curious, look up Don Rickles on YouTube. I don't quite do the racial jokes that he does, but I do pretty much everything else. The heckling of people and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Especially me.
yeah,
When you
well,
can.
you deserve it, but that's another story. So anyway, back to Emma.
Yes.
So she is a very nice dog. And the other thing that she does that's kind of funny is she takes her leashes when she's in the house. And let's say I go upstairs because I spend most of my day converting VHS to DVD. So I'll be upstairs and I'll come down to let her out or something. And I'll find her leashes thrown all over the house. So there's like a leash between in the kitchen and the living room. There's a leash between the living room and the library, so forth and so on.
Hmm.
So it's kind of amusing, but it's also like, really?
So she just drags them and drops them?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. If she doesn't try to eat holes in them, which she's done to two of her leashes. But again, that's crazy dog.
So she's got command of her own leash. That's pretty interesting. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting too because she has to jump up on a table to get them. And the table is just a little bit above her head if she stands on her hind legs, so it's like, anyway, so uh, anyway, she's cute. So that's Emma. I mentioned a little bit ago wasps that have taken over the backyard.
Yes.
In regards to letting Emma out. Here's what happens is there's these large ass wasps that are called cicada killers. You know what a cicada is?
It's familiar to me, but no, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay, a cicada is a large, or can be large, but is a bug that basically like digs up your lawn.
Yeah, yeah.
And they come in like every 3 to 5 years cycles.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They're kind of like locusts, right? They kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, we had huge ass locusts.
Cicadas.
Thank you. Cicadas last year, and the cicadas came with large ass wasps. And when I'm saying large ass, I'm saying it.
Like 3 inch or more?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and so these wasps, what they do is they grab hold of the cicadas and dive into the ground because they live in the ground, and then they take it down there and eat it, basically, the cicadas. So we got those last year, and we had huge cicadas, as I said. This year, we just had the wasps. There were no cicadas. So Oh, my dad is thoroughly convinced that he's found the answer to this because he went on a few online forums. It's kind of like the way that you self-diagnosed your problems.
Yeah.
He kind of found the answer to these large wasps,
Mm-hmm.
which, according to him, is you go out at night after all the
Wasps have gone back into
yeah
their.
into their holes
Yeah.
because they leave little mounds on your yard.
Right.
And you go and you put knives around the each hole to
Mm-hmm.
mark it, little plastic knives,
Mm-hmm.
and then you take ammonia
Mm-hmm.
and you pour it in to the hole, and then the next day you go out and check and see if there's any new holes because they will presumably make new holes to get away from that because the ammonia kills them.
Right.
And then you repeat the process until you get rid of them. But according to him, that's the answer as to how to get rid of these things.
You can't get rid of an asshole, Nathan.
Well, you're moving through the room pretty quickly. You walked into that one. Or walked out of that one, rather. In case anybody was wondering, that's Thomas's dad that seems to make a cameo on these things every time we're doing them.
Makes it fun.
Yeah. Usually it takes me a little bit longer to come up with a joke to that. But that one he gave me easy material. So anyway, the wasp.
Yeah, so you put the ammonia in after you put the knives in to mark them. And then they presumably making holes.
And then you repeat the process until you kill them.
Yeah.
So again, this is according to my dad. And I don't know if that's true or not. We didn't get a chance to try it because here's what happened. Last year, there was a large rain spell, and it killed off the wasps. This year, there was a large rain spell, and it killed off most of the wasps. Now, there's a few select wasps, but they're on the back side of the hill, heading towards the driveway that's behind our house, which then leads to Nathan Stone Road, which is where you are.
Right.
So they're on the back of that hill in our backyard. And I purposefully do not let the dog out that way because I don't trust that they're going to be nice and not bother us.
Right.
So I let her out through the garage, out to the front lawn, and then walk down the hill because we live on a hill.
Right.
I walk down the hill with her down the front lawn until she does her business, and then I say, "Okay, girl, let's go back inside," and she listens. But anyway, that's the wasp problem that we've had for a couple of years now. So with any luck, we'll have it again next year, and we'll be able to practice that thing. So. If we do a podcast after you're married, after your honeymoon, and we are able to do it with Skype, and we can record it that way, then I think we can say how that goes.
Yeah. Wow. I haven't seen any of those kind of wasps out here, like on Nathan Stone.
Right. Well, I showed you the one that we got in last year in the little box, and that was creepy, wasn't it?
Yep, very.
Yeah. So, anyway,
what attracts them here? Do we know? Just the cicadas coming through and they follow?
Yeah, it's just the cicadas.
I wonder why they nestled in your lawn.
I don't know, but it's almost like we've had the 7 plagues at my house. Yeah. One of them had to be the plague of the flu because everybody in the house got it. There was a whole problem with moths. We've had moths since last summer that we haven't been able to get rid of in the house all winter and all spring and all summer this year. So we got an abundance of moths. They're the little small ones that build nests in your house.
Yeah.
And then we've got the big outside moths that came into my room. We had mosquitoes that were coming in. We had earwigs in my room.
Yeah, those are nasty.
We had ladybugs. We had what else?
Spiders?
Spiders, little creepy crawlies that are, the little, like almost flat-bodied, grayish color things with multiple legs and a couple of antennas up
Millipedes and
front.
centipedes and stuff.
Yeah, and then we've got a few stink bugs that have gone through.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it's all in my room, and I said to my dad, Jesus, we really have to get some work done on the outside of the house near my room to board up those holes.
Yeah.
Or we need to have some work done to seal up the heating vents because there's a problem. These things keep coming in. And it goes, well, you can never bug proof a house entirely. I said, no, but you can make it so that significantly less bugs get in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's one of those things that if you have to point out something obvious to them, you might as well just go, here's your sign.
Yeah, I know you squash them all. Maybe you could collect them and show them over a period of like a few days how many you've got.
I did that all summer.
You collected them? Oh.
I
Wow.
killed them, and then every time I killed them, I'd say, this is what I just killed, and show them, and it's, well, there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, there effing is.
Yeah.
But they don't want to.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a circular argument.
Yeah, who knows what kind of bugs I'm going to have in Texas. They're pretty nasty.
Yeah, well, I know you're marrying next year, so you'll have a live-in one. You'll have a mother-in-law. That's another kind of bug.
Oh, Nathan. They're not bugs. They may bug you, but is that what you mean?
And why do you think I called them bugs?
Exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, I can't. No,
I'm supposed to encounter scorpions too.
That'll be fun. No, I kid though. Your fiance is very nice, and so is her mother, from what I've seen of her.
Yep.
I'll be interested to see how many of the old aunts and uncles and grandparents that I get to upheave with my jokes. Thomas, as we mentioned earlier, is looking to be roasted for his
and toasted.
Yeah, and toasted
So
if he can
balance.
possibly get it. For his was a wedding rehearsal dinner.
Yes.
Okay, would you care to expand on that for a second while I grab something?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
So I mean, the typical tradition is the groom's family, does a dinner where the wedding party and maybe some select friends and family attend, and usually it's like a formal setting, and I'll have to give a talk as the groom, and maybe my father or mom or whatever from our family's perspective, just to thank her family for the wedding. But the newer tradition is to make it like more of a playful, fun experience that everybody remembers, takes pictures of, and has a few drinks and stuff. And so we thought introducing a roast/toast where we can have our closest friends and family, say something about us.
Dearly beloved, we're gathered here today to pay our last respects to the groomed.
Yeah, there you go. Something like that. You get the idea.
Yeah, we're off.
No, it should be fun though.
Should be interesting.
Yeah.
I know what I'm going to say. I don't know what your brother's going to say though.
Well, you'll find out soon.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. No, I get your brother's got a pretty good sense of humor.
Oh, he does. Yeah.
And he and I play well off of each other for people that don't pay attention to scripts.
Yep.
I write scripts, I just don't pay attention to them. that's the difference between him and I. I actually sit down and put some thought into what I can say,
Yeah.
and reject a lot of things that I can't say, and
Yeah.
then fine tune it so it sounds perfect for something that I can read. And then once I've committed about half of it to memory, I disregard the rest and just start ad-libbing.
All that work, huh?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if you asked me about a scene in God's Waiting Room, the script that I wrote, I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you for the life of me what the hell I was thinking of first.
Oh.
I can tell you specific scenes that I like or were problematic for me to write, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what inspired what scene.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Yeah, it's kind of like me writing essays. I don't remember what I wrote halfway through it, especially when it's like a long one, like 50 pages. You just kind of go with the flow, I guess.
well, that's the funny
Hope for the
part.
best.
That's the funny part. I wrote a better part of a book
Right.
last year,
Yep.
and a little bit the year before that. But I wrote a book, and I got through 50 pages in like 2 days.
Wow. That's intense.
Yeah, but it was like all the things that I knew had gone wrong with my life from like birth to middle school. I could, do that, and that's what came up with 50 pages. And then
Wow.
I copied and pasted a legal document into there and started refining that into a narrative form that you read about the college years.
Right.
So that's how that 50 pages came
I
about.
see. Wow.
And that legal document was originally 16 pages, and now it's like 32 in the book.
Wow. Yeah.
But that's what happens when you turn it into a narrative rather than a legal document.
Now, what if you had to write about all the good things that have happened in your life?
That'd be a short book.
Hey, it's not over yet.
But I mean, I thought I did a pretty good job putting in some of the fun times in there.
No, yeah.
There's a little bit of the good and the bad, but one thing that I've learned is that you want to make sensational copy, and what drives people to see stuff is the drama behind it.
Yeah.
That's why even a rom-com has some dramatic moments to it. Anyway, let's get about ready to go into a detour of the aesthetics of making a movie or whatever from there.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's backtrack. You're getting ready to go to grad school, is that right?
Yep. I'm heading out Thursday.
So what's the deal with that? You fill me in here.
The grad school?
I mean,
thing?
like,
Or
what's
the
your
move?
schedule from, like,
Oh.
let's say today till
Yeah.
you're settled in?
Yep, so I have a few more of my belongings I need to like package up, like some remaining books and knickknacks and all that stuff. Ship it out USPS.
Mm-hmm.
Then my car is going to get picked up supposedly tomorrow morning. It's supposed to be today,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll see about that.
Mm-hmm.
And what else?
Holes?
What's
Still
that?
talking about holes?
Nope.
No.
Nope, we're talking about him moving to Texas at the moment.
Hope nobody heard that. But anyway.
Which part?
Exactly. Which part?
Yeah.
Well, that kind of threw me off. Anyway.
That's
Yeah,
what
well, I
she
mean,
said.
yeah. Oh, gosh. Oh, boy.
Just
And
like
after
the
watching
first
The
time.
Big Wedding, that's very appropriate.
After your wedding, it's going to be just like the first time.
Oh, my gosh. Here we go again. Something she didn't say.
That'd be nice for a change.
Oh man.
As I said before on one of these podcasts, one of the things that your fiance famously said was, "Put a ring on my finger, and it's flirting in Vegas."
Yep. Yep. She
And
does have a
somehow
good
you
sense of
thought that
humor.
was a mind game. I'm still baffled by that.
Well, it's just very unlike her, but she has those moments, and they're really fun.
Well, yeah, but for you, you kind of need the bludgeoning over the
Sometimes,
I'm
Hey,
not saying that with any particular malice.
no,
By the
no,
way.
no. There's a lot of distractions in life, And some people are more susceptible to following them than others, I suppose, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's why it's like, hey, wake up and smell the coffee.
Yeah. No, that's very true.
Of course, she was saying that to you from like what 2010, 2012, and then you're like, aha, I'll fit your wagon. Here you go. Here's a
Oh, yeah, I've been drinking decaf most of my life, right?
Yeah, she's trying to get you the caffeine.
Or espresso. Oh boy. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah. I mean,
Ha ha ha! I just poured the martyr on
right?
you.
No,
You didn't know it.
yeah. No.
The line I just referenced here. There's a song called "Evening Romance." Dean Martin sings it. Great song. The lyric is, "Do they take him for espresso? Yeah, I guess so. On each lover's arm, a girl I wish I knew. On the evening romance."
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry, it's
Pull that on me.
you said espresso. You said, yeah, I guess so. So small tag up on that.
That's
Continue.
fun. No, I was just gonna say. I mean, moving's very stressful. I'll just put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Things never happen according to plan.
Nope.
And just when you think you're done packing, you go back to your room and realize that you didn't pack something else, and you're like, "Oh, I gotta ship that out too." It's pretty wild, and it's a big move. I mean, this isn't like a move into a new neighborhood in Massachusetts. It's going like more than halfway across the country almost.
Right.
That's pretty crazy. But it's exciting too. Looking forward to it. I mean, the PhD program is gonna be a long haul, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, or a very very long haul. But it should be a good experience. So
Yeah, you may have to delay your what do you call it, honeymoon for a little while to get through that program.
yeah, well, I'm hoping not. I mean, even though you're supposed to work full time and stuff, it's really based on like your work ethic, and they're a little more flexible in grad school, I think, than they are with like a job. Where you're making a salary no matter what.
Right.
So I should be able to take some time off. So I'm not too worried about that. But
Well, that makes one of us.
yeah, here you go. Put it this way, they're not going to stop me. I mean, it's a wedding.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you kind of like have to respect, So from an employer perspective, so
Yeah, well, from a feminist perspective, your wife is going to be supporting your ass while you're in grad
finishing.
school.
Yeah, no, that's true. But
I'd love to see what those feminist nutcases in Vermont have to say about that.
yeah.
I liked what your cousin. That's another reason why I think that your cousins are more intelligent than I am.
Mm.
Is that I liked what she had to say about the role in which women play with raising kids.
Hmm.
Yeah, half the, not half, 95% of. Now you see why I corrected myself.
Yeah.
95% of the women that I know that are in our age bracket, for all intents and purposes, are not that aware of that.
Mm.
There's only two people that I am aware of that are in our age bracket that think like that. Three if we count your fiance.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of the other ones being your cousin, and then there's one. I'm blanking on her name at the moment, but I just had it in my head.
Hmm.
Yeah, I almost feel like this is kind of the joke for the two old guys sitting around. Have you ever heard this joke?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, two old guys are sitting around, and one of them says, I got the worst back pain that you can possibly imagine. I've taken everything for it. I can't do anything about it. The other old guy says, I'm taking some great painkillers, and it's wonderful.
Hmm.
I don't have pain most of the day. I'm good, and so he goes, really? Well, what's the name of the pill? The
Mm-hmm.
other guy, what's the name of the pill? And the guy says, uh, what's the name of that flower with thorns on it?
Mm-hmm.
The guy goes, Rose. He goes, right. Hey, Rose, what are those pills that I'm on?
uh,
I almost feel like I'm that old guy going, what was this?
right, right.
Happens to me all the time now. I start something and I get about halfway into it, that's, what the hell am I doing?
I think we all have those kind of moments.
Yeah, but in the middle of a joke? This is why I have to work off of idiot cards now.
Hmm.
It's true. I do have to work off of idiot cards.
Hmm.
While you're gone in grad school for that, a few months, I'm going to be typing up the stories that I was telling you about for the roast.
Yeah.
And you're trying to reorder it and fix the wording until
Sure.
it comes out perfect.
Sure.
But it's one of those things that's driving me absolutely nuts because I know that, well, first of all, I know I can do that, but
Yeah.
the thing that's driving me nuts is I know that it's going to be a long, arduous process for me because I'm going to get halfway through something and then go, oh, I got to remember to say this or that or the other. So I'm going to have like a memo pad next to me so I can write down those little thoughts, and then I'm going to have the computer in front of me while I'm typing the damn things up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
this is what you call premature aging, and it comes on by living with your parents for too long.
It's happening to me too. I use notes and calendar and stuff now. I mean, I was pretty bad before, but I'm even bad with it. So.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's the one thing I can say about myself is I haven't gotten to the point yet where I forgot a flight.
Your appointments or anything? Yeah. Just once. Hey, I was doing a lot of flying that year, so I mean the ratio is pretty good.
Yeah, except you missed the one coming back to Massachusetts for a holiday.
Right. Hey, I guess I was mentally on vacation already, right?
Yeah, well, you've been that way for years, but
Oh boy.
that's not what you said.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's see. Where I had a couple of other things. I wanted to get your thoughts because it's gonna be a while before we can do the next podcast, obviously.
Yeah, at least in person, right?
Right. But I mean, we'll have to figure out maybe doing iChat video and
Oh, yeah, I should pick up the voice on the other end, right?
yeah, and do the podcast that way.
Yeah.
We'll work out the details later.
Podcasts across the United States.
Right, bi-coastal podcast.
Almost, yeah. If you count the Gulf Coast. Yeah.
Well, it's called the coast for a reason. But anyway, so or would that be tri-coast?
Yeah.
So anyway, Lincoln. That's what I wanted to get your thoughts on.
Yeah.
The movie Lincoln. You and I talked about it before, and I think you'd said, this is obviously not on a podcast, but
Yeah.
you had said that you thought that Daniel Day-Lewis's voice was a little bit too high for...
Yeah. I don't think I was alone. I think some critics were talking about that too. But never heard Lincoln's voice.
Well,
Um,
by all accounts that I've heard, Lincoln's voice actually did sound like that.
yeah.
At least that's what I've read in
Yeah,
articles and
because you
stuff.
wouldn't think that he would go so out of his way to make that kind of special voice for no reason,
Right,
right?
right.
It's just, I guess it was just surprising. Maybe that's the right way to put it.
Yeah,
It's not
right.
that I didn't like the movie because of it. It was just,
Right.
it's just like, oh, you see such a tall guy, and like my brother, he's got a huge, deep voice, deeper than mine. You would expect it.
Yeah, so you're saying you expect the squeaky voice that I have coming from me.
Oh, no, not
That's what you
necessarily.
just said in essence, but anyway,
No, I think it's anyway.
it's a
Usually,
backward.
usually the bigger guys have deeper voices, but
Uh.
doesn't mean the shorter guys have squeakier voices. It's not always true.
That's true, just like it Al Pacino
Yeah,
or James Cagney.
right.
And then Cagney was kind of easily. Anyway,
But I mean, I guess it goes kind of with his humility and stuff. If you want to look at it that way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to give him like a softer personality based on his voice.
right. Well, he also had a few hardships in his life too, like a crazy wife and stuff.
You know, that probably made him a little more objective and stuff. It's a good movie though. I mean, good message and liberty and
The pursuit of happiness, etc.
yeah.
Okay, that's Lincoln. As I threatened on one of the earlier podcasts that we did, there was a movie called Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I like this movie as a movie. It's a fun book to read.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, you would not go for a historical record for it. But some yo-yo wrote it up on the internet saying this movie is historically inaccurate. Really? A vampire movie is historically inaccurate. Who'd have thought that?
Did you post a comment? You should have done that on his blog.
There were a few other comments to that effect.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
But oh boy, I had to laugh at that. It was kind of like,
For real.
yeah. Well, it's one of those like, really, how could you possibly tell? It's kind of like, who'd have thought that a lesbian would have directed a movie called The Beaver?
Right.
Anyway, I kid, Jodie Foster is very talented. So anyway, so the Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter I thought was pretty good, and you can't take it seriously.
Right.
And they ask you to at a few points, but everything's so fantastic that can't possibly have any basis in reality, like running across a stampede of horses and cattle,
Right.
jumping around their backs and having a fight almost to the death with a vampire. Yeah, that wouldn't break your neck if you were just an average human like Abe Lincoln. So
Pretty crazy.
yeah, so there's
Maybe a Halloween movie for us.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Yeah, in 3D if we can do it. So anyway, there's that. There's Abe Lincoln of Illinois. Abe Lincoln of Illinois. Abraham Lincoln, John Mr. Lincoln, are the classic biopics of Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
And those are all pretty good, but they have not aged well because they were all kind of the early days of cinema, and some of them have better acting than others and stuff.
Right.
But none of them particularly portray Lincoln as being soft voiced. And you would kind of think that he'd have a deep booming voice like Gregory Peck did when he played Lincoln in The Blue and the Gray
Hmm.
in the 80s. But that aside, I think that Delos did a terrific job as Lincoln, though, in Lincoln. The only kind of problem that I saw with it was the historical inaccuracy that was pointed out by the state of, what was it, New Hampshire or Connecticut or something?
I think it was Connecticut.
Yeah, I think it was Connecticut, though.
Yeah.
Basically, in the movie, they said that the person from Connecticut voted in favor of slavery, whereas in reality, the person voted against slavery. Um,
Hmm.
so it's just a little bit inaccurate, and the person
Yeah.
and the person that found that wrote to Spielberg demanding that it be changed before it comes to video, and Spielberg said nope, it's going to stand as is.
Hmm.
However, there was a cool incident that's probably what inspired that guy, where somebody looked up the sky charts for the night the Titanic sunk and found that James Cameron had an incorrect starry sky for the night that the Titanic sunk, so he got James Cameron to redo digitally the night sky on Titanic. So if you look at Titanic, the DVD from way back versus Titanic, the Blu-ray, you're going to see a total.
That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, and by Titanic, the Blu-ray, I mean the 3D Blu-ray, you're going to see
Yeah.
a difference.
Wow.
That's something else we have to do is try to get Jenny to see a 3D movie on Blu-ray.
I know.
Wonder how we can finagle that to happen.
I don't know. I don't know if she'll be able to hold off. Not seeing the Blu-ray 3D. 3D movie period. Hasn't even seen one.
Yeah, it's just there's not a lot of great 3D movies coming out, with the exception of the Thor.
Dark World or
yeah.
regular Thor?
Yeah, Thor: The Dark World that comes out this November, and The Avengers 2 in 2015, Guardians of the Galaxy next year, and what the hell is the other one that they said comes out next year as well? Captain America: Winter Soldier.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Funniest line of the whole Captain America. I crack up every time I say it. Tommy Lee Jones. They're driving. Spoilers. They're driving the car chasing the plane where that Red Skull Nazi is. And there's that like cliff side of the thing directly ahead of them. They're going through the hangar, getting ready to go out onto the pavement and stop short. The girls, the love interest is in the car, and she kisses Captain America, and then Captain America has to go jump to get on the plane. Tommy Lee Jones is driving the car, and as Tommy Lee Jones is driving, the guy looks over at him after kissing his daughter, and kind of like, are we good? And Tommy Lee Jones, in the best deadpan that I've seen in a long time, it says, with the exception of Shepard Smith, says, I ain't gonna kiss you.
No, I remember that.
Yeah. And, or something to that effect.
No, yeah,
but it was absolutely hysterical. It put me away when I saw it. And every time I say it now, I crack up because of that.
Yeah, you anticipate it and everything.
Yeah. My mom's like, lukewarm on and Captain America, but she loves Thor and she loves the Avengers. So she's looking forward to the Avengers too, and she's looking forward. She likes the Iron Man stuff because Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
So she's looking forward to the Iron Man. She's looking forward to Thor, and she's looking forward to Avengers too. But she's not really big on the other ones. And my dad's like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what's going on at the time. I'm like, I've got all these dates marked on my calendar. We better be going.
Right.
uh, uh,
That's funny. All I have to say about Robert Downey Jr. is that he's very different from when he was in Back to School.
yeah,
I did watch that recently.
yeah, it's a great movie. Great
Yeah, I love that movie.
By the way, I did on the Blu-ray that I gave you.
Yeah.
That is I haven't got around to watching my copy.
Yeah.
Is the scene with Kurt Vonnegut still intact?
Trying to remember. I was like half watching it, so I think I missed that one.
It's the scene where Robert Downey Jr.'s mocking the Rodney's kid and says, who have you got doing your book report for you? And he opens the door because there's a knock at the door, and there's Kurt Vonnegut. He goes, "Hi, I'm Kurt Vonnegut. I'm here to see so and so." And Robert Downey Jr. just does a.
Yeah, that's in there. Yep.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
that's good. I want to make sure that they had the actual full movie in there because they trimmed that scene out when Kurt Vonnegut died and put it to DVD without that scene in it.
Really?
Yeah. The extracurricular edition DVD does not have that scene in
I
there,
know that.
but the extracurricular Blu-ray does, I guess.
Yeah. Wow, that's really weird.
Yeah. I was kind of like, why the hell would you leave that out? That's one of the best gags in the movie.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
That and Twist and Shout from Dangerfield.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's funny.
Yeah, I saw it the same way Watts into the shower.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember his
By the
tagline.
way, you're perfect.
Perfect, yeah, that's what he says, yeah.
I miss Dangerfield.
I know. Yeah.
Anyway, so you're moving to Texas and you've got your grad school.
Yeah.
Round 2.
Final round.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have a crazy summer next summer. In terms of getting married and whatnot, and that's gonna be in New York. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure I had that.
Yeah, Lake Placid.
Uh,
We got lucky going to the resort town.
yeah, have you seen that movie?
With the monster?
Yeah, the big alligator.
Long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, not very good, was it?
No.
Now there's like 3 of them or something. It's like, what the?
Yeah. Ridiculous.
So it was Deep Blue Sea was the other bad one that happened around that time. It was
The
like,
sharks.
what are you doing? Now they got Sharknado.
Right.
So anyway, I guess on my end of things, not nearly as exciting. Oh, my leg. Not nearly as exciting as the stuff that you have going on. I'm going into, if you pardon the expression, production on writing a few scripts right now. One is an adaptation of a play called Outward Bound from the 30s, updating that, moving it to California. There's another one based on a Sherlock Holmes radio show that I want to write. And then there's one about a friendship that I have with somebody that I've been trying to write for years now. Since I first met the person, but I've been actively working on it since 2009.
Wow.
And I just figured out the framework for it the other day. This is kind of funny, actually. You'll like this story. It's short and it's fun. I was watching a movie called Twixt.
Okay.
If you want a good Halloween movie, see that. It's more of a drama suspense thing, but it's Francis Ford Coppola. is the writer-director. Val Kilmer is the star. And Elle Fanning, Dakota Fanning's sister, is the dead girl in it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's good.
Hmm.
So, I was watching it, and in the movie, spoilers, there's the character of Edgar Allan Poe that helps the writer, played by Val Kilmer, to solve the mystery of what was going on for the purposes of writing his book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting.
Yeah.
The uh, the whole idea of Edgar Allan Poe there, and having Poe explain, intellectually speaking, his poems Lenore and The Raven
Mm-hmm.
and his stuff all being about relationships and stuff, triggered what I needed in my head to get me going as to what to do as far as the framework of the movie script. And so the opening of the script is all I'm going to tell you, because I don't want to give away the whole thing. But the opening of it is me doing a podcast saying, I love, essentially, I love stories,
Mm-hmm.
and particularly stories about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
That's all stories are. It's just stories for the most part about relationships.
Right.
And the story I'm about ready to tell you is just that. It's about a relationship, and then it goes back into the rest of the story from there.
Wow.
And then it goes back into end podcast then.
Okay.
But to me, that seemed like the right thing to do, is to frame it in a podcast. And partially because I think that I could do the podcast as part of the production of the movie, and get it to click, so that you can actually hear that podcast before the movie comes out, and then
make it more appealing. That's really cool. Great idea.
I try to figure out ways to interconnect things I'm working on. It's one of the things I did with the Sherlock Holmes scripts that I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
I try to connect them loosely to the Beekeeper's Apprentice series, and better known as the Mary Russell series, and the Irene Adler series by Carol Nelson Douglas, so that it kind of leaves the door open to accepting Holmes and potentially getting married and stuff, so that you can potentially make either of those into movies, and I think I'd love to see those made into movies. I don't know if I'm the right person to write them, but I could probably supervise in one way or another. So, here's a good scene, here's a way to get around this plot hole. Skip book 2, stuff like that.
It's very cool.
So anyway, we're gonna have to wrap this up shortly, but are there any questions that you have for me that I haven't addressed for anything?
Yeah, you haven't addressed. What are you looking forward to most, in the coming months?
During the coming months?
Yeah.
The movie's being released.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to November. There's a movie called, well, I guess I should start in September. September, there's The Family, Bob De Niro and Tommy Lee Jones.
Is that it?
And Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
So there's that one. There's October, Bichetti Kills, and The Escape Plan, the Stallone Schwarzenegger film.
Yeah.
November, Las Vegas. And The Hunger Games Catching Fire.
Wow, November. That
Yeah.
long?
December is American Hustle. And what the heck is the other one that comes out that day? American Hustle and Grudge Match. And The Hobbit
Yes.
Part 2.
You seen the new preview for that?
Yeah, it looks good, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be good in 3D.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, the extended edition of The Hobbit, the first movie, comes out in November on Blu-ray. So that might be worth picking up. You could do what I'm doing and getting the Blu-ray 3D version. And that way you get the 5-disc set of the movie. Or you can get the 3-disc set of the 2D.
Probably 3D is the way to go eventually.
Yeah, well, I start planning now for the future because I know, I
Be
have
ready to
3D when you get the TV and stuff.
Yep.
I thought ahead with my stuff, and I started that with Christmas Carol
Yep.
and Thor, Captain America, all that jazz. Anyway, so
Yeah, seeing these movies is going to be a good escape.
yeah, no, I look forward to those movies. I look forward to getting a couple of things written, including trying to finish that darn book. And I look forward to you coming back for Christmas.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have to do Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah.
And one called The Great Gatsby 3D.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to those.
So we'll have to figure out doing a double feature of that, and if Sarah comes up to visit, we'll have to do Mary Poppins.
So, yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen Mary Poppins in so long.
Yeah, it'd be fun to see that on Blu-ray.
Yeah. And you said they're doing the Wizard of Oz 3D too.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that comes out in September 20th for a week only. And IMAX only.
You have to find that.
But then the Blu-ray comes out in October. I got that on my birthday wish list for my parents.
Sweet.
That and Boardwalk Empire Season 3.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Well,
speaking of your birthday, have you opened your birthday presents yet and watched them?
Yes.
I figured you would.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to New Year's Eve because that's when I watch The Apartment.
Nice.
I do a double feature of The Apartment and Ocean's 11, the original.
Very cool.
That's my New Year's Eve.
Nice.
So, maybe if you're not doing anything, we can do that together this year.
That would be cool. Yeah, I should get New Year's off too. I'll probably start my vacation on the 23rd or something like that. So.
I'll have to do a Demented Christmas Carol podcast.
Gosh.
Anyway, with that, I have a feeling we should wrap this up since it's that time.
And since I might be getting up early in the morning for this car trucker pickup thing.
Mother trucker.
Mother trucker, yeah, there you go.
Anyway, with that, good luck with the move.
Thanks.
Let me know when you're settled in Texas, and we'll have to figure out doing podcast via video messenger and stuff.
Sounds good to me. I was actually going to propose the idea, but you beat me to it, so.
Yeah, well, somebody had to. Anyway, with that, I'm Nate Taves.
And Thomas Sawyer.
And thank you for listening.